Amnesty Office empowers 40 delegates in poultry. Commendations trail recent successes by delegates as 100 more conclude training in advanced farming techniques. Plus, tidbits, fact file, and more. Hello and welcome to Reintegration 30,000. I am Stella Inamiti, and it is a pleasure to be back with another episode of the program. We have lined up our regular segments for your viewing delight with the hope that at the end of this episode, you will be better informed on the activities of the Presidential Amnesty Program. We'll start up things with our segment, A Changed Story. For our regular viewer, of course you know what this segment represents. However, for the benefit of those joining us for the first time, let's just say A Changed Story is a reflection of the mandate and ultimate agenda of the Presidential Amnesty Program. It speaks to the issue of reformation and commitment to change, which is the apogee of the Amnesty Program. This week, we have someone who captures all of what we have just outlined and who continues to show a willingness to remain positive. Let's bring you A Changed Story.
Banning going on from River State, Gone precisely. My experience before, it was very tough because I lost my dad, lost my mom. Life was difficult in Bonny, so that what led us did what we did. But since Amnesty programs, they settled us. Me as a man, I'm an ambitious man that wants to do good for myself, but I needed an opportunity, which Amnesty Empowerment gave me the opportunity. I'm a fashion freak. Right from my primary to secondary, I like clothes. So I said, okay. And then I was drawing for people to make for me. So now when I had the opportunity of training me in this, I said, okay, this is a good opportunity for me to catch it because it's something I have passion for. Since Amnesty, they were training us and they were taking care of us during the period of learning. So it was easy for me now to catch what I really want to do. Since then, I've put in everything, all my energy, channel it back to here. And so far, it's selling good results. Because I have so many customers, like now, I see some, they are coming, I'm excusing them. It's just that I'm having small challenge to meet up to their standard. Working in this kind of environment is always difficult. I'm trying because I really want to do it. I don't want to go back there because I'm comfortable here. My son is about 6 months, so I don't have any reason to misbehave. I'm still managing what they give to me to bring out the best I can. Presently, I have like 4 boys I'm training in this business, and they are doing better. God willing, I want to be televised in the whole world. The good thing Amnesty did, the result of it, I want to be a result of it. Where people come to ask me, how did you come to this stage? You understand? I used to hear of Yemi, casual in fashion. I want to be recognized in this business with the help of Amnesty. We're encouraging local fabric. This is a local fabric. I use the black pieces to do this design. This is a thread. I use a straight machine. If I have a designing machine, I can do more designs on this to give you something that is better than this. You can see it. So far, I work every day of my life. I don't receive stupid calls again. All the calls I receive is for the call. Either from my wife or from my customers and my family. That's the calls I receive. For 24 hours, I'm busy. You can see. But you see how the place, I was just managing. We believe that will be there someday. Even Amnesty can use me to train other people. I'm called to that service. I want to train other people for Amnesty. I want to partner with them. I train. Amnesty sets to them. I do the training. I can handle any fashion outfits. I have the capacity as I speak. What I need is an encouragement, because those boys, they need support. Most of them, they did what they did because of lack of hope. So if they see their friend who can bring them, they will follow. For what Amnesty did for me, I will do the return to Amnesty and to Nigeria at large. I will never go back. I will never misbehave, because so far I'm seeing the light. To the federal government, they are fathers. We say thank you to them. We really appreciate it, because no matter how little, it's something. If you hold that little well, something will come out. Though it might be long, but something will come out. So I say big thank you to the Amnesty and to the federal government, to the president, acting president, everybody. I say thank you to them. And to the youth, it's not easy. Where I am today, if I look at what they gave to me, I would just say them 100K, I don't tell all of them, you go finish things. But I just look at it tomorrow. Life will not end like this. My children will ask me questions tomorrow. So they should just forget about what they are giving them. Just look at what they want. Start up with what you have.
The changes taking place in the lives of delegates are predicated on many factors, all merging to compel an attitudinal shift that generates goodwill and engenders positive vibes. One major contributing factor to the change process is the platform that provides for the training of delegates in various vocations and the subsequent empowerment of these delegates to start up small and medium-scale enterprises. This week, on our segment Insight, we will be looking at the empowerment component of the Presidential Amnesty Program. One of the critical components of the Presidential Amnesty Program is the Empowerment Initiative for Delegates. It is at the top on the list of priorities in the reintegration drive, which targets the incorporation of former armed agitators back into civil society.
The concept of empowerment is reintegrating you back into the society. Now, before now, they were ex-militants, ex-agitators, and they didn't know much. I believe if you know better, you would do better. So now, when you train and you don't empower, you leave them hanging. Because you've trained, you don't have anything you don't have any platform to practice what you've been trained. You find it's possible you go back to what you know, what will benefit you, in quotes. But now, if you train and you set them up, that way, you're giving a leverage, you're giving a platform to build on. It's up to you to be successful because you've been given that platform to ride on. So the concept of empowerment is so that you have a business, you have something to wake up to.
Reintegration of delegates is indeed the apogee of the Presidential Amnesty Program. Achieving that task would mean that the Amnesty Office is on the course of rectitude in terms of government's promises and commitment to developing the Niger Delta. Over the years, thousands of delegates have been trained in various vocations, mostly spanning specialized fields and core technical areas of labor. The grand plan is to ensure that these beneficiaries put into use the skills they have acquired, thereby contributing their quota to the growth of society as new generation entrepreneurs. The Presidential Amnesty Program Empowerment Startup Park is more or less the final push for delegates to hit the ground running. The package is of immense value to the entrepreneur. It is a merger of material products and other basic requirements necessary to start up a business with the prospect of growth.
Now, this starter pack is everything you need to be successful is contained in it. So, for example, fish farming, you have the earthen pond. First of all, you have your own land. We lease a portion to you in your locality, which is close to your home. Then we dig up the earth farm, we fence it, security and all of that. You have a generator, you have a borehole, because if you don't have constant supply of water, very soon you lose out on your fishes and all of that. So all that is contained in the starter pack. For things that have to do with equipment, maybe welding or something, we provide you with tools, not tools, so that once you get jobs coming in, you are more than ready to undertake those jobs. You don't just lie fallow. So for people like into the supermarket business, we provide a shop, commodities, we provide items for sale. Now those are given to you for free, because that is your starter pack in quote, and you're expected to sell, make profit, get your capital back, and run the business like that.
The Presidential Amnesty Office has clearly prioritized the empowerment of already trained delegates. This became even more pronounced in the last 2 years since the inception of the Buhari administration. Over 4,000 delegates from the 9 Niger Delta states have been empowered with the tools essential to their chosen trade to start their own businesses.
We have delegates across the Niger Delta that have been empowered over a period of months, some even a few years, and we see these delegates even asking that, I have been able to impact this same knowledge to my immediate community. Now, those people may not even be beneficiaries of the program, but because they live around them, and they just go, oh boy, I have this thing, come join me. We have a particular delegate in Delta State who is into rice farming. He connived with his brother and they did it together. Now they have other people working for, he even has a BSc holder in his employ. That is the delegate who was empowered and I just started something. And now even helping out people that went to school, like the full program in school, in his employ, because he has been empowered and he built on that. So he's able to run through the process of reintegration on his own. He's employing people, and that is the whole idea.
The impact has been huge, with narratives from an increasing number of delegates making significant gains and a corresponding improvement in the well-being of their families. In many ways, this is in consonance with the spirit and mandate of the reintegration component of the Presidential Amnesty Program. The intention is to target clusters of youth and envisage a positive ripple effect by sustaining a structure that monitors their progress and steady growth. In addition to empowering delegates under the program, the Amnesty Office intermittently monitors the growth of businesses, creating platforms for review and encouraging delegates to emulate good examples.
We want to see them succeed, and that's why we give them this platform. And we're open to mentorship. We don't just leave them. Any day, anytime, you can call in your office, okay, I have ABC challenge, and we see where we can come in. That's why we have people in the Niger Delta region. Even if the headquarters of the office is in Abuja, we have people stationed everywhere in the Niger Delta region. So once you need help, you just call on us and, this is your challenge. We send people over. We do regular inspections. We don't just leave you to yourself because we are liable for your success. We've given you the platform, and it's, we're accountable for federal government money. So we need to see that you're riding on this platform we have provided.
The practice of monitoring and mentorship has improved the quality of the empowerment component. Delegates are now more optimistic of owning their own businesses at the end of their trainings, which in turn has improved the generic ambience of the entire Amnesty project. You're watching Reintegration 30,000, and the segment is Talking Point. Our guest on this episode is the Special Advisor to the President on Niger Delta and Coordinator of Presidential Amnesty Program, Brigadier General Paul Buru, retired. Sir, good to have you back with us again.
Thank you very much.
So much has happened since the last time you were here. Let's begin this conversation by praising some of the recent gains achieved by student delegates both offshore and onshore. How does it make you feel?
Okay. Thank you very much, Stella. I must say, first and foremost, the Amnesty family and the larger Niger Delta people are very happy and appreciative to God Almighty to have ensured the return of our great president, His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari, back into the country. And we're happy that he's around to steer the stem of affairs of the nation. In the area of programs for the Presidential Amnesty Office, we're happy to say that the human capacity development in the area of educational capacity has been resounding, and that by December 17th,
will have only 100, will have achieved about 95% of the human capacity of the beneficiaries on offshore training. And then in the local training, we're talking of establishing nothing less than 3,500 beneficiaries whose capacity has been developed in various types of educational capacity development. I think this is a resounding achievement by the federal government of Nigeria through the Presidential Amnesty Program. Thank you.
There is the issue of ongoing dialogue between the federal government, the Pan-Niger Delta Elders Forum, PANDEF, as well as other stakeholders from the region. What is the current position on the talks?
The relationship between the community of the Niger Delta region and the federal government is being brokered by PANDEF, the Pan-Niger Delta Elders Forum. And about 2 weeks ago, there was a meeting again with the federal government of Nigeria to discuss way forward and continuity and sustainability of the issues, the ongoing issues. And all the issues that were discussed by PANDEF is included in a strategic work plan which the federal government is coming up with. It's in the draft form, but in about 2 weeks' time, it will be out. And the blueprint is more encompassing to include the youths from the region, the youths who are particularly from the oil-bearing communities, the militants, the stakeholders, the interest groups in the region are all involved in this master plan, which has to do with the strategic work plan for the development of the Niger Delta region. It cuts across all endeavors, those who are involved in oil and gas business, those who are involved in agricultural business, and then particularly ICT. This is one area that we have to also look at because it has to do with information dissemination, information gathering, information connectivity. It's all embedded in this master strategic work plan by the federal government of Nigeria, which will be out in about 2 weeks.
As coordinator, you must have set new targets for the program. For lack of time, can you briefly tell us some of these targets and where you see the amnesty program headed to in the coming months?
The federal government, through the Presidential Amnesty Program, have engaged the youth of the region in human capacity development and skills acquisition. In the area of skills, we have delved into agriculture. We have facts and figures of beneficiaries of this program who before now were kidnappers, were armed robbers from the region. And the federal government has brought them and transformed them positively in life. There's a gentleman who has a poultry business at Elele community in River State. His projection is in the website. He openly made mention of what he was before he joined the program and what he is doing now. And that presently, he sells eggs and chicken to the people in his community. People come even as far as Warri, Benin, Akwa Ibom to come and buy his products in Elele community in River State. I think that is a success story. We also have some other elements from this program who are in the general area of Delta State, Ugeli, and the area of Saple, who are involved in rice farming. These are ex-militants or ex-agitators now who have taken up agriculture as a way of life, as it were. Their capacity has been developed from the Greeks to being an agrarian, and they are focusing on rice farming and fish farming as well, and they are very successful. So I advise strongly that the alternative to oil is nothing less than agriculture. You cannot miss your mark if you choose agriculture as an endeavor of life. I'm a farmer, and I advise people to go into farming as an adventure of life.
Sir, it is always a pleasure having you on set. We'll be speaking to you again quite soon. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you too. God bless you.
Brigadier General Paul Tarila Boro is the Special Advisor to the President on Niger Delta and Coordinator of Presidential Amnesty Program. Time now for our segment PAP in Recap. The Special Advisor to the President on Niger Delta and Coordinator of Presidential Amnesty Program, Brigadier General Paul Boro, has reiterated the importance of the empowerment initiative under the Amnesty Program. General Boro, who stressed the imperatives for youth empowerment, urged delegates to take advantage of the starter packs at their disposal to grow their enterprises to enviable heights. He was speaking at the graduation and empowerment ceremony of 40 trained delegates in poultry farming in Warri, Delta State. Represented by the Chief of Staff, Amnesty Office, Colonel Dedis Abel, retired, General Boro affirmed the commitment of the Amnesty Office to the empowerment of trained delegates, stressing that the move will fast-track the reintegration of former armed agitators back into civil society. In a related development, the Special Advisor to the President on Niger Delta and Coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, Brigadier General Paul Boro, retired, has described the various ongoing vocational skills empowerment training programs for beneficiaries as a viable platform to grow micro, small and medium enterprises in the Niger Delta region. The presidential aide made the statement during a fashion show at the graduation ceremony of 22 beneficiaries at the Balamere Fashion Academy, Lagos. General Boro said the vocational training in fashion and design is part of an integrated strategy towards job creation in the Niger Delta, which also targets the ongoing reintegration of delegates into civil life. The Amnesty boss, who was represented by Ayama Mary Bire, a staff from the Vocation Department of the Amnesty Office, said the skills training would provide delegates with tools and expertise to explore available opportunities in the sector.
While you are waiting for the feedback from the Amnesty Office, we can start small. Actually start small, not to go back. And then let me say that to go back and relax at home. Actually start small.
The 22 beneficiaries went through a 6-month intensive training on fashion design, starting with needleworks, use of manual sewing machines to electrical and other industrial machines. And lastly, the Presidential Amnesty Office is working to expand opportunities for trainings in several key sectors that could boost Nigeria's chances of clinching self-sufficiency in food production and allied industries. The Amnesty Office has met with prospective partners willing to offer expertise in areas such as rice cultivation and its value chain, as well as in packaging and marketing. Another such partnership is exploring the potential in deep-sea fishing.
The Vietnamese who taught me, and I am using my expertise to teach others. In the Niger Delta, the company has never had a harvest failure through it being destroyed by predators, whether it be rats or birds or whatever.
What we're saying is that, supposing, for instance, now we train up to 1,000, for instance. At the end of training 1,000 or thereabout, you understand? During our employment, if we're about to employ people in our those people stand the chances, the ones that did well stand the chances of us employing them.
We see a great as in developing the economy. On one hand, providing massive job opportunities for our youths as ever, as well as ensuring that there's abundance of food security in the country and beyond.
And this is it for this episode of Reintegration 30,000. I hope we have been able to educate you on some of the key activities of the Presidential Amnesty Office and the implementation of the Niger Delta Amnesty Program. Do join us again for more in the weeks ahead. Always same time and same station. And of course, our social media platforms are available for your comments and contributions. Until I come your way next week, do remember this: Amnesty works. I am Stella Inameti.